I've seen you do a little bit on your
I've
stories.
seen you do a little bit, Brett. And when you do, I'm like, hey, look at Brett. There he goes. All right.
Brett, you could...
Look at Brett. He's riding a bike all by himself. Good job.
Bring me the next shiny new thing. Bring me the next shiny new thing. Bring me the next shiny new thing. Bring me the next shiny new thing.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Big Bad Figcast. My name is Brett, also known as Geek Over 40. And today I am joined with Zach, also known as Minifigure Fox. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good tonight, thank you.
Today we are joined by a very special guest who pretty much made this podcast possible. A year ago, I made an offhand remark in a group chat about how we need a customs podcast. And through his encouragement, positive vibes, basically, that was pretty much the direct cause of me exploring this for a couple months and eventually launching it. So that's why we're here today. I'd like to present to you Jamell of Jamell's Bricks. How's it going, man?
Hello, gents. How are you all doing this fine evening?
Good. Good.
I had to put my radio voice on. It's good. It's good.
So,
Good.
Now we brought you here for a few reasons. One is because you're just, awesome.
No.
But your time in the customs world, relatively speaking, is pretty short.
Yeah.
You've been collecting for how long now?
It's been, actually, as of today, 3.5 years.
Wow. So I'm totally wrong because it feels like it's been only like 2 years. I can't believe I haven't known you for 3.5, have I?
So you know what? I was actually this sounds real creepy. I was looking back on like some of our first chats, and I want to say it was around early 2020. I think you and I first started chatting, and I want to say
that's insane.
And I want to say it was the same for Zach because I just started bugging you all like crazy, and I was worried that I was going to be that weird.
Okay, that I remember.
There you go. See, I knew it. I was like, okay.
No, it's just so to be fair, and I'm sure this goes for a lot of folks. From the COVID period to even till like 2022, my brain is mush. Mm-hmm. I just, in terms of extrapolating, like if you ask me what I did for my birthday 2 years ago, I don't even remember. I literally do not remember. Mm-hmm. Someone asked me about my birthday this past year, which is just back in April, and I couldn't remember. And then it took me a minute to like, oh yeah, that's right, I forgot, and because I mentally I went through and said, did I post that to Instagram? And that's how I remembered. So wow, it feels like it's such a blur. So in that time, you kind of got into a place where a lot of us that have been collecting even longer are yearning to be in, which I think Zach is in right now as well. And that is that sort of that nirvana state of zen for collecting, where you're fine, you know what you want. You hold out for what you want. You fight the FOMO monster and win nearly every time. That was one of the reasons I wanted to bring you on and pick your brain and let others know how you got to this point. You found a way to nest yourself in with a bunch of community veterans relatively quickly. You're part of our group chat. We're happy to have you. So yeah, it's just, I think you're a wealth of knowledge for those who are trying to get involved into this community, and then also those who have been around for a while. So I really appreciate you coming on.
I appreciate you all having me. I'll tell you what, I'm definitely flattered. It's like, to answer some of those questions, man, I actually learned a lot just from sitting back and watching you all. To get to this zen-like state, I remember it was either be you, Zach, or Nick. First thing you all would tell me, Jamell, you can't have them all. And bro, I remember looking at your stuff. I'm like, this dude has like 3 million Spideys. There's no way I'm getting to that level. And so I was like, okay, I can't have them all. I can't keep up with the Joneses, and I got to stay in my financial lane, like Kevin Hart would say. So, so for me, I just, I kind of keyed in on like, what is my vibe? Like, I am a corny, Big Trouble, Little China, pop culture type vibe. And so I started, gearing my collection, towards that. And, get going on some of this obscure stuff. And I would gravitate towards, okay, I love superhero stuff. So there's too much Marvel to collect. So for me, it was like, all right, Jamell, I am obsessed with Black Panther. So I just kind of, zeroed in on that type of those figs, and grabbing some Avenger stuff here and there. And luckily, in our community, and not to take shots at anyone, there's a lot of DC haters. So it actually made it easier for me to get a lot of DC figs.
So I was gonna say, you're probably one of the few, I won't say hardcore, but you are a DC focused and sometimes collector. I know you've had a lot of internal monologues back and forth that you've typed in the group chat. We're just watching it unfold, where you're like talking to yourself about which Aquaman you want to get.
Oh yes.
So yeah, it's been fun to watch it unfold. But I know you're a fan of the Snyder Justice League figs and whatnot.
Yeah, just I'm kind of it goes back to the not trying to keep up with the Joneses, and just stay in your lane. If that's what you like, that's what you like. And another thing, I'm still flabbergasted in all that I've been allowed in some of these chats, and I just tell people just keep a positive vibe, stay humble. It's a passion we all have, so I just try to come at everything with that type of mentality.
All right, and that's our podcast for today. We've just solved the riddle.
no secret sauce.
No,
here.
we're going to turn back the clock a little bit. Zach's got some questions for you, so I'm just going to let him take the wheel.
Let's go.
Okay. Yeah, Jamell, what was your first Lego set? Like, we've been talking about customs a lot, but let's take it back all the way. Do you remember what your first actual Lego group set was?
I actually do. So, as a military brat, I used to live in Heidelberg, Germany, and I'll never forget one of my first sets was my mom and dad took me to the BX, or PX if you're in the Army. I forget which one it is.
Yeah, we call it PX.
I won't hold that against you.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Sorry, it's base exchange, post exchange. It's like how can I describe it? It's like your Walmart or Target, but on base.
Ah, okay, cool.
That's the best way I can describe it.
Thank you for explaining.
And they bought me the huge Blacktron base.
Yes.
And that, from there, it went into overdrive. I can't remember when Blacktron came out, but a long time ago.
The way back.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever had any of those sets. But that's a classic one. I think that
absolutely.
I've got the CB Blacktron Zombie. Does that count?
Yeah. They came out with that like GWP a few months ago or whenever was that. I don't have any concept of time, but
yeah,
that was a good giveaway.
I'm still trying to secretly get that on. I'm trying to like hint that to my wife, like, hey, can I have this? It's on Amazon. Here's on eBay.
So I know you have kids. Do they play with Lego too, right? As well.
Oh, absolutely. Just, on various levels, got my 11-year-old William, I love it.
I just dropped. Sorry, let's restart.
You know what? No, I'm going to leave that in. I'm not going to edit that out.
That is too perfect. That is too perfect.
That is peeling back the curtain of a podcast creation. I'm leaving that one in.
I just dropped a little peep. Carrie calls them little peeps from the dream sets. Okay, sorry, Jamell.
No, you're good.
Go ahead.
No, so our 11-year-old, he is heavy into Star Wars. I mean, this kid will tell you more things about clone troopers than I could ever imagine. So, like, that's been his main focus. So, I get to do a lot of builds with him, and he's actually really good about just doing things just from his imagination. Like, he'll watch a show, and then he'll just build whatever he saw. And so I get to do that joy with him. And then the little Princess Millie, my daughter, she loves, kind of like the Friends type sets. But the funny thing is, we can get her a set. All she cares about is those little mini dogs. Like those little, like I could spend like $60 on a set, but she's just zeroing in on that little puppy.
If I had known that, I would have sold you all the ones I had left over from my kids' sets because I sold them on Bricklink.
Oh, she loses her mind over this.
I had puppies. I had baby dragons.
I'm going to look around.
All those.
I'm going to send you some stuff because I have stuff that I'm not using. I'm just going to send you some. How about cats? No, it's just dogs.
It's usually just dogs because we have dogs at the house. Well, have a dog at the house. So I'd say mainly puppies. But you know me, okay. I'm thankful for anything.
until she discovers the baby dragons.
So, yeah, yeah, I don't want to go down that dark hole.
I'll say my kids just wanted dragon sets for the longest time. They didn't give a crap about Ninjago. They just wanted the dragon builds.
Yeah, my son never really got into Ninjago. It's always been Star Wars.
The friend sets are just so good lately that, yeah, but I'm not interested in those. So I'll send you those, Jamell.
Appreciate it.
For Millie.
You don't,
No problem.
You don't have to, but I appreciate it.
No, for sure. Are they aware of like the custom stuff that you do, like the hobby in general? Do you talk about it?
So my son, he gets it. He's actually, sometimes I don't want to talk to him about it because then he's like, oh, well, Dad, if you're getting that one, can I get one? I'm like, dude, Daddy's the way my checkings and savings is set up. Yeah, we all just can't get customs. But to answer your question, yeah, he's starting to see it. But again, if I ever showed him a Star Wars custom, that's when I would be broke all the time.
Ooh.
What about your wife? How does she feel about all this? Is she a fan as well and wants you to pick stuff up, or?
She's just kind of like, oh my goodness, I married such a nerd. So she kind of just lets it be my little thing, and she'll get a set every once in a while. But she's supportive, but she's not like, ooh, let me check out that arm printing. Ooh, is that pad? Is that UV? She can care less.
Well, it sounds like she cares more than my wife does. My wife's like, all right, you're happy, I'm happy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, my wife collects the holiday sets. I think we got into that. She really likes Christmas, but yeah, if anything custom, she's like, great. What's so special about that? I'm like, you don't get it.
Exactly. That's pretty much the same thing.
But it's okay. That's why we have
She
each
liked
other.
Stephen Hawking. She liked the CB Stephen Hawking because she's a science nerd.
Oh, okay.
So she thought that was great. She's got a Bob Ross figure.
That's one I actually want to.
That's a good figure. I love the Bob Ross figure. I just picked that up not that long ago.
Oh no, it's
actually.
not a CB one. I want a CB one. It's another.
okay.
It's from another company.
Is it Abby Dabbles?
It is.
She's good. I like Abby.
She's great. I met her at a Brick Fair a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I've got some earrings from her, and is looking forward to her next set. She's like, "Oh, I'll go see Abby and get some earrings." So
I wouldn't mind adding Bob Ross
she does great
to the
work.
set or the collection.
Yeah, it comes with 2 really cool tiles too. I got that from the Daily Brick. That's that account.
Oh, okay.
It's nice enough to sell me that. So I was missing.
So my question is, you've mentioned before where you've had packages sent to your office rather than sent to home. How does that work? Like, I mean, do your coworkers see you opening these things up and play with your stuff?
So it's actually pretty funny. My 2 colleagues. So one guy actually works in the mailroom, and he is actually I think we talked about in the chat. He's the one who's I don't know how you describe it, the eBay reseller, set investor, and all that good stuff. So
Yeah.
so they actually get a kick out of it because, especially when the customs come in, because they did not know the custom world existed. So for them, they're just like, oh, what'd you get in today? What's coming in the next month? So they really don't get too jealous. They're more curious of when I get pieces in. And it's funny because when I get them in, it's almost like we do our own little nerd gathering unboxing. And so, and yeah, we just nerd out. And matter of fact, one of them, he bought, I think 2 or 3 of the Boba Fett's from Lynn. Cause he's like, hey man, show me where you're going to get this stuff. And I showed him, and he's been just low key grabbing stuff left and right.
You just introduced an eBay bro to customs. Is that what you're telling me?
No, not him. The other guy, the security guard.
Okay.
No. I didn't violate. I did not violate.
It's like, damn, man.
No.
But
I stuck to the code.
So how did you actually get started collecting customs anyway? Like, how did you discover all this?
So, funny story. I was literally, this is what, 2020? I was on my, no, not 2020. 2019, I actually was on my way in my previous position. I was on my way to Malawi, Africa. And I was just killing time in the airport lounge. And I remember I pulled up, I think it was on Pinterest. And I just, I was just typing Lego minifigs. And I just started seeing all these random pictures of just these awesome customs. And I was just kind of sitting there like, oh man, this is stuff I've dreamed about, or I would try to make out of classic Legos when I was a kid, or even when I was in uniform. And it kind of just, I just kind of went from there. And I was like, you know what? I really don't have the time to invest. But once I started finding the time, that's really when it kicked in. And then that's when I ran into, Tier One and all these other different sites. And I was like, man, I gotta get in on this if my wallet can afford it. So hopefully that's a good answer. But that's just honestly,
It's the truth. So
yeah,
it's a good answer.
that's
If you want to come over here and blow smoke up my ass, that's fine too. I'm not going to know the difference.
But yeah, no, man. I literally was sitting in the airport lounge, and I always had sets, and I always would try to make my own customs. Like I used to try to what would I Frankenstein? Gosh, what was it called? What was that set called? Exo Force, Exo something. I used to have those all in my dorm room when I was in the Air Force. It was ridiculous, and so yeah, just sitting in the airport lounge, man. And I was like, you know what? I'm a Lego head, and saw these customs, and I haven't turned back ever since.
Did you ever have a dark period where you like weren't collecting, or because you had them in your dorm room? It's kind of
So I stopped collecting when I want to say during OEF and Operation Enduring Freedom. After 9/11, I was constantly gone, and so I just kind of I didn't have the time. And I that was like it was like years in the dark, almost until I started talking to you all, where I really wasn't collecting anymore.
wow.
Yeah, it's understandable. If you're not, when you're mobile and not in country, it's kind of hard to collect.
Yeah,
things.
yeah. Now I do wish that when I was mobile, that all these Lego stores that are in the airports were there around then, because I would have had a whole bunch of stuff getting sent back to the base.
This is the golden age. I think that's Lego customs, whatever you want to call it. Some of the best stuff is coming out.
Oh, all of it.
And honestly, like we as collectors, this is it. This is the time where we can pick and choose what we want. Everyone's making stuff that we never thought would get made. So it's time to, just like speak with your wallets, right? Just whatever you want to see get made, buy it.
At this time, Lego's just announced their partnership with Fortnite, and
dude.
everyone's sharing all these different Lego designs, and the Marvel designs just came out. Everyone's fawning over them, hoping they'll be made to figs. If not by Lego, then by some custom company. Like you said, it's a golden age. And Jamell, it's more than one occasions already today. In the last 20 minutes, you've mentioned, if the budget approves or if I can afford it. Or, that is the caveat that controls all this. So how do you keep yourself in check? Like you mentioned earlier, you're sitting with some heavy hitters. Once, you hang out with the folks that buy a lot of certain figs or whatever, and you've learned not to want to try and keep up with the Joneses, so to speak. But how do you avoid that pressure, that FOMO? What kind of rules do you set for yourself?
Okay, that's easy. Well, I've got 2 kids, a wife, and a mortgage. So that's number one right there. And I try to. The way I look at it, or the way I do it, is sometimes, like, if there's something I really, really, really want, I will sometimes now I'll sit back and look at my current collection and say, you know what can I give up to get just that particular one? And I'll sit back and maybe think about a day or two. And you guys know this, I'll bug the heck out of you two and say, is this really, I go for that group think sometimes. So I'm like, okay, Jamell, is this really worth it? And I try to set a budget to where I don't like hitting that. Oh, I've just spent, $500 in 1 month on some customs. Nothing against anyone who does. Just I got to do what works for me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And the realities of real life and having family and bills such as a mortgage to fall back on can easily deter you from overspending. Some folks, I don't mean shit. They'll buy regardless.
Yeah.
They're into they're like, oh, I'll just do 4 monthly payments and
no.
invest in some credit, PayPal credit or whatever.
No, that's another rule. I don't, again, not trying to be high and mighty or knock anyone. If I have to get something on credit, that means I really didn't want it or need it, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And again, not trying to be all bougie, just like, hey, if I can get it, I don't want to make payments. That's where I draw the line. I don't want to make payments on unless it's some rare BP fig that you all know I must have. maybe I'll make payments on it. But other than that, nah, it's not that serious for me.
Well, it's just a life skill. I'll tell you right now, I am really good at convincing myself what I need, whether I need it or not.
Yeah.
And I think anybody will find a way to justify a purchase. Like, you know, as you know how many people I had in my inbox hitting me up over the last few months saying, "Hey, man, Spider-Man 2 is coming out." And I'm like, I know, I don't know. I was like, I know, I don't own a PlayStation. I'm a PC gamer. I have to wait. He's like, oh, but, you know, PlayStation's going on sale. Black Friday's coming up, and they're all pushing me to buy it. It's like, I'm like, I've got Avengers Tower coming out. I still got to buy that.
Oh, that's priority.
They're living vicariously through you, man. That's what's going on. Is that they want you to get it so that they don't have to.
Exactly.
They want to.
Joke's on them, because my Steam backlog is so huge. I could play games for the next 10 years and still not get to Spider-Man 2. But
I'll never, ever, ever be able to play games like I used to. I couldn't imagine even trying to.
when the kids are old enough, it'll come back.
That's what I'm waiting for, because I have not gamed since dating myself. Like seriously, like Killer Instinct on Nintendo 64.
Oh yes,
Like that.
Great soundtrack.
Oh yeah, I'll still bet money on that game.
Great game.
I'm gonna start betting figs. Like, hey, if you can beat me in a round of this.
Who did you play with?
So I was Glacius, Cinder, Fulgor, Orchid.
Most annoying characters. Glacius was the worst.
Because Glacius, basically he had the Dragon Punch. So
You're Mark, Brett. You're like, these are the worst characters. This guy's not going to win. Brett, Jamell gets a free fig.
Well, no. So I mostly play with Orchid and Saberwolf.
Oh, I forgot about Saberwolf. Yeah.
He had that really annoying spin move that you could just chain so easily.
Exactly.
It pissed people off. And it went at different lengths across the screen, so you could psych people out and zone them really easily. So so it's a quick sidebar. So they did a revamp of Killer Instinct that came out for Xbox a number of years ago, and she's now 18, but my oldest, that was her first time playing a game online, and she was playing with Riptor, who was like he's like a raptor, dinosaur, and she did this annoying button mashing move, but it kept on spitting out stuff. Let's see, this had to be, oh man, she was in elementary school and she was getting called a bitch online by somebody.
My goodness.
And that is when I turned off voice chat for online gaming on the Xbox. I'm like, nope, you're done.
Yeah, no, I do not have voice chat. Like our son, he plays Fortnite. I do not have voice chat or anything activated on that. Nope. Not at all.
Yeah.
It's a good move.
But anyway, getting back to custom. Sorry, old man moment.
Can we
here.
get a Killer Instinct? Can we get a Killer Instinct custom? That'd be great.
I think. All right, I'm going to call it. I know. I want Abnormal, Lynn, if you're listening. I want Abnormal to make a full gore.
I would be down for that.
I think they would do a really good job with full gore. Just don't make 20 different versions with all the different color palettes.
I love everyone with the variants, but I'm not a variant guy.
Well, Abnormal likes to make variants, and Full Gore has a bunch. Killer Instinct itself has a bunch of different variant skins, so it's a recipe for disaster.
I love variants. I love them
because I've been playing. So instead of playing Spider-Man 2, I've been playing a lot of Cyberpunk 2077. If anyone who's familiar with it on the PC, it went through a rough patch and a lot of patches thereafter, and now it's considered like a really great game. And that's when I started playing it, when all the final touches were done. And I've got like maybe 90 hours in the game. I think I'm maybe 30% through the main story. I've just been doing all the side quests, and I just enjoy it so much. But I wanted to play the game because I watched Edge Runners first, that miniseries on Netflix, because that anime was just phenomenal. So then I pulled in the trifecta, and I downloaded the soundtrack that's in the game to listen to on the way to work and back. And all I kept thinking about was, Jaka made their David Fig from Edge Runners.
That's right.
And I'm like, I'm waiting for them to make that Lucy.
Ooh.
And then I want a Rebecca. And that so I really hope they get a break in all these other series they're doing. I hope they can pull it off and see the rest of that cast out, because I think that those would be really great figs.
That's one of my favorite Jaka figs.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
Still mad that
really great.
I just wanted it for the hairpiece, and I'm gonna blame Zach and Nick for making me. Actually, Zach, Nick, and Sket. I look at figs now and I just look at the parts. I'm just like, ooh, what can I do to Frankenstein this thing?
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I think Sket got me into that.
That's a great segue into fig barfing. Really, one reason Zach, I specifically wanted him to join us today is because I think hands down, I don't think anyone will deny, Zach, you're probably the top fig barfer right now.
100%.
Oh, jeez.
100%.
I think you rank up there like, well, System Collector, he does these amazing mods where he's like breaking out
Oh
tools.
yeah,
and
no, he's on a different level.
he's a different level. But in terms of just straight out the box or straight out of the clamshell, mixing parts and creating some cool, obscure stuff, we're all looking at you right now.
Oh, wow.
Yes, sir.
And Jamell, I imagine Zach was an influence on you.
Oh, 100%. Zach and, not disregard anyone, Zach and Nick. And I would just watch the things that they do and just taking it to the next level. And yeah, 100% inspiration. I mean, and Sket. And I remember, I want to say it really kicked off for me when I felt like, ooh, I kind of made it. When Nick jokingly called me out, he did I forgot what the post was. He did something, said, Jamell, where are you at? And I was like, oh, okay, let's play. And so, but then again, I'm looking like, okay, on this post is also Zach and Sket. I'm like, I can't just come with some whack stuff. I gotta really bring it. So yeah, they're definitely my what's the word I'm looking for? My muses, inspiration, all that good stuff. Because they're definitely, Zach, best in the game. And like I've said, it's getting to the point your stuff is looking like art,
like little installation pieces.
That's super kind. I just appreciate that people appreciate it. I just do stuff for me that I think's cool. It's a two-way street. It's a four-way street, whatever you want to call it. I am getting inspiration from y'all too.
Aww.
So it's not like it's all cyclical in that way. The positive vibes, I look at the stuff you do. It comes down to me for like a sense of play. I'm like, let me just go play. I like that you just said that a minute ago, because that's what it's about for me. I'm just like, let's go play with some parts here and not judging anything of what I'm doing. That's maybe what's good about customs, Lego, whatever you want to call it. You can, I was a performer for a long time. I'd judge myself on stage as I was performing, which is just a killer.
Oh gosh,
immediately kill you on stage. If you do that, you're done. But with Lego, it's like, it's just I'm in my zone. I'm just doing whatever I want, and then I have this community of people that I get to share with, which is, I'm so lucky to be able to be surrounded by such positive people and friends. So,
and for those, we've mentioned the word fig barf a number of times, and it just shouldn't go without being defined again, just for those who may be tuning in for the first time. But a fig barf is exactly how you hear it. Barf as in throw up, and the idea is basically you know. It's phonetical. It's phonetical. I don't know. Basically, you're just throwing up a bunch of parts and putting them together. So that's why it's called a fig part. Some people back in the day used to call it a kit bash.
Mm-hmm.
So, just taking random pieces of different minifigs, in some cases of different building parts, and grafting them onto minifigs to create all new creations, which can make new characters, new themes, new scenes. Or as we mentioned with Zach, what looks like an installation piece for a museum. So that's basically what we're referring to when we say fig barf. And well, actually, I literally got a DM about 3 days ago. Someone asked me what that meant after listening to the podcast. So I want to make sure every time we bring it up, we define it.
Yeah, thanks for breaking that down.
Thank you.
I think I read up, it used to mean like if you were building a mock or a scene and you wanted figs to incorporate into that, you would just mix and match like a bunch of different figs, like 15 or so, and just put them into there. So you just quickly fig barf a bunch of figs, but it's kind of reduced down into whatever, just like one fig or just with a bunch of different parts. So,
well, terms change over time. I mean, when I was a kid, bad meant bad, and then bad meant good. Now bad means bad again. So
it all goes full circle.
Word of So hopefully in a few more years, my kids will feel ridiculous for saying Riz.
Oh gosh, I'm still trying to figure out what that is.
Yeah, what is that?
Charisma. It's the word of the year. You guys got to keep up with the news.
No, I try not to.
Did y'all hear there was a hole in the sun? Anyway.
What?
Well, we're going to gloss over that real quick.
Yeah, right. Oh, God.
So, Zach, did you want to take it away on some additional questions regarding fig barfing?
Yes. So, Jamel, have you, in your fig bar fig journey, have you ever broken or damaged any like expensive customs during your barf sessions? I have, so I just want to see if you have as well.
So yes, I have, and it devastated me so bad. Matter of fact, this is bad. I can't remember if it was. I think it was you who sent me. I don't know how you came across it because I'm obsessed with custom hair pieces. I think somehow you had the Infinity War Thor hair piece. I'm just gonna say it was you. It was either you or Nick, but I'm just gonna say it was you.
Okay.
And,
Okay, that's fine. I'll take
and
it.
I remember I was trying so on like the left side of the hair, I put it on one of the figs and I tried to take it off and I snapped half of it. And I was so I never told you I did it, but well, until now. So
it's all coming
yeah,
out.
exactly. I snapped half of it, but I figured a way to break the other half to make it like into a cool looking mohawkish type style. So I want to say that's
clever.
Yeah, so I want to say that's, luckily, knock on wood, that's the only piece I've broken. I remember when who was the last competition? Who was doing it when we were doing all the superhero fake barfs?
It was Carrie and Nick's barf bash, probably.
Yeah, I almost broke, and I would have cried. I almost broke my PCB Warrior Prince.
Dang.
Yeah,
I'm glad you
I
did.
almost broke, and like I could hear. At first, I thought I could hear it snap, and I just stopped. I'm like, nope, I'm about to grab another arm. I don't care if it's a bootleg arm I've got, but yeah, that I almost recently broke that one, but thank goodness I stopped.
Yeah, I've shattered. God, was it Minifigure Factory? I don't know. It was the Infinity Gauntlet Tony.
Oh.
And it was that dark red. I should have known. I tried to take the arm off, and it was an old fig, and it snapped immediately, and I was just super bummed.
You know what? I remember that. I remember when you did that.
Yeah. I think I shared. I shared that. Yeah, I ended up. Who took that off my hands? Because I sold it for like customs don't go for what they used to. I can't even imagine what I paid for that at the time. But and then I sold it for like $50-$60 or something, which is like 6 times less than what I paid for it.
Yeah,
so
nowadays you wouldn't get that.
Yeah. To Charlie Lego. What's that name? Used to be a official Brick Universal. He's a good collector, longtime collector. So, but he did his thing with it. I think he glued it back on, and it looks great. So
yeah, I don't have that skill to repair.
Yeah, it's Char Lego.
Char Lego.
I never said it out loud before. I've only read it. So I just looked it up.
Charles is his name. Good dude. Is there? Let me see.
Oh, Charlo Lego.
That's how you say it?
It's Charlo Lego.
Okay.
Yeah.
Charlo Lego.
I've never said that out loud. I think I'm gonna go through my Instagram and just like audibly sound out every person I'm following, just so I see if I
That's
can do
probably
it.
a good idea.
I think we should make that an episode. Just rail off so many of them. Just see how many you butcher.
Yeah. Because there are some, like when I'm doing the Geek Exchange, the best part about Instagram is the autocomplete and predictive text on names when you're typing them. It's like they know, oh, you just talked to that person in the DM, so you're probably trying to type that name. It saves me so much time.
And see, that's why I picked my name, just plain and simple, Jamell's Bricks. Because I'm like, if I have problems sounding out anyone else's, let me just make mine really easy.
At least you have bricks at the end, because there's some people that have bricks in the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Citizen Brick isn't even the first choice that comes up when I start typing Citizen.
Yeah, me neither.
There's so many different Citizen Brick fans
so true.
that have Citizen in their name. It's funny how it all works out.
Jamel, I want to talk about just keep with fig barfing. So, like, let's say you got some time to play, to mess with parts. Is there anything that you could go to? Is there like a seed part that you start with? Because you mentioned hair. Like for me, hair is a big one, or like a head or something like that. Like if you got some time to mess with it, how do you kind of approach the creative process as far as playing with Lego and customs?
So my creative process, it always starts with the head and the hair. Like that's just
nice.
That's always my go-to. And then I just kind of, from there, you guys have seen my style. It's I go from the head to the hair to how can I mix any kind of fun combo superhero style with a CB torso or a mini bigs torso, or heck, just the ones I did today, like with the New York City torso. But again, just to answer your question, it starts with the head and hair. But usually I have these random cat herding thoughts in my head of fig barfing all day. I can. It's so weird. Like I can be
Yeah,
like the
same.
other day I was watching Double Impact, and I'm like, huh, I need a fig barf. I need a fig barf, an Alex fig. And so it's so, my mind is so random. But yeah, hopefully that answered your question, going back to the head and hair piece.
No, it does. It does. The fact that it ended with the reference to Double Impact was,
Oh yeah.
I'm more than happy.
Oh, yeah.
I might have to put that in the roll up at the end of the on Instagram.
Oh yeah, dude. Like I said,
The podcast is gonna be nothing Lego related. It's just the episode, the roll up is just gonna be like old Nintendo 64 games and Jean-Claude Van Damme.
oh yeah. Like I said, no, it's funny. Like, you guys know me, I'm a gym nut. The creative process starts when I wake up and I'm watching something randomly on HBO Max or whatever, and I will literally from there, like, I can make a fig out of that. So it's kind of all just based on what I see during the day.
So I love it. I was going to mention, remember the movie Sidekicks with Chuck Norris?
Yes.
Do you remember that movie? I used to love that movie.
Dude, it was ridiculously horrible, but it was great.
It's like, it probably would be the worst movie I've ever seen now, but at the time I was like, oh my gosh, this is the dream.
Oh yeah.
This kid, he's having these dreams all day about kicking ass with Chuck Norris.
Just switch that with custom and fig barfing, and we're good to go.
Yeah, when are we going to get a Chuck Norris fig? Is he doing all right? Is he an all right guy still?
How do you turn minifigs into a Chuck Norris joke?
Gosh, that was a thing. It was like, it's the way back.
When Chuck Norris steps on a Lego, the Lego says, ow.
You heard it here
Make
first,
it.
Brett.
I'll be here all
There you
week.
go.
Tip your waitress. So, Jamell, many folks don't know this, but you were a breakdancer, right? Or are a breakdancer?
So yeah. So I'll do for all the B-boys and B-girls out there. I know everyone says breakdancing, but we say B-boying. But go ahead.
Okay. Sorry. Thinking back to when I was a kid in the 80s, we just called it breakdancing. So I'll let my whiteness show through.
Oh, what did you say? What is it? What did you say you were? White bread. There we go. I love it.
Yeah, I was that's gonna haunt me for the rest of my days. But anyway, that's led to some really cool fig barfs because you've been incorporating parts from like Crazy Bricks that provide molds of legs and arms and crazy positions, so you can do some more intricate posing. But that's also led to some commission work. Can you tell us all about that?
Yeah. Back in early '90s, I was a b-boy with my crew back in Texas. Shout out to Spin Squad Texas crew, and even then, I still was collecting, and building Lego. And I always thought, dude, how cool would it be one day if we had our own sets? And so, fast forward to now, I remember when I stumbled upon Crazy Bricks, and I was like, oh, it was like the light bulb moment. I'm like, here we go. Finally, I have pieces where I could build my vision. And so, as a b-boy, we really didn't have, breakdancing is not a big old paid thing. So it's not like you're rolling around with a lot of money. So when I started making these figs, I started saying, you know what, let me make this for, the b-boy community, boys and girls, and let me just give them away as gifts to the important, b-boys, b-girls I've known throughout the years. And so I remember I made my one of my first ones, and it was for my pal. His name's B-Boy Wicked, and he's actually, what a lot of people don't know now is that b-boying is actually in the Olympics. It's going to be in the 2024 Olympics.
Oh, that's cool.
And so
Whoa.
I hit him up. I said,
Very cool.
hey man, this is my idea. This is what I'm working on. And he saw it. He goes, dude. He's like, hey man, I love it. I love it. And I was like, cool. And I just started slowly just sending these out to people, like some of the big names out there. So it was just kind of my way of giving back to a culture that, did so much for me. Like, I used to actually tour as a dancer. And so, the military took me there, of course, but, through b-boying, that's just that was my passion. And I was like, you know what, if I'm going to be known, and I didn't do it for likes or to be known, but if I'm going to have something that Jamell created, let it be something that came from the heart, my passion. And that's when I came up with that, that b-boy series.
It's one of my favorite series you've done. I love it.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm flattered, man. That one, that's, yeah, if I had to say what's your claim to, fake barfing fame, if you want to call it that, it's that creation right there. I still am thinking of ideas how to make up another B-boy, B-girl set.
Have you ever talked to Crazy Bricks about how you've employed their parts and then maybe offered other ideas to help you,
I,
that they can create that then you can then push to make more intricate stuff that you want to work on?
I never did. All I really would do is, I'd get their parts, send them a shout out, send them the picture, but I never really thought to say, hey, why don't you do this next time? I always try not to tell the creator how to create, if that makes sense.
No, absolutely. I agree. I'm just saying if you sent like a bundle, like show the series of things you've created and those who are receiving, and I bet you they'd be willing to hear if you have any other additional ideas about like, hey, if we had a legs that could look like this or arms bent this way,
You know what?
we can do some cool stuff like
That is
maybe draw some sketches and just reach out to
that's
them.
actually a wonderful
They
idea.
seem like great
no,
people.
they've been
Yeah.
more than
And community focused
yeah.
since they've gotten a lot of their support off
oh,
Kickstarter.
absolutely. And they've done, like, I don't put people's business. They've done some very generous things for me because of the creations I've made. So, oh yeah, I would
Oh, so you've already got a
Yeah.
rapport. So yeah, man.
I just, me, I'm Mr. Nice Guy, Mr. Humble. I try not to, I don't know. I'm a quiet creator, if that makes sense. And I try not to, just step on people's toes. But yeah, maybe I'll step outside the box and say, hey, yeah, because I love their stuff. I'm always stalking their site.
Yeah.
That's-
So
I love
yeah,
it.
and then next thing you know, and maybe in the next 6-8 months we can see the B-boy line.
If I think if I could do dude, so honestly, my dream, if I would stop buying or saving for the Avenger Tower, I would love to commission at least 30 torsos, like in B-boy graffiti style, and then mix and match those with some Crazy Brick stuff. That would be like the B-boy line right there.
That's such a good idea. Keep that. Keep that.
Yes, Zach, don't run back to Joe with that.
I'm taking all these
Hey, run
ideas.
back to Joe. I just need 10 for me. That's all.
Got you. No, that's great. I've never seen anybody use those parts as for like dance poses the way you did. To go back to like, sometimes you just got to see it, and that's enough, you know, to be able to like, okay, well, not everybody's going to do the same thing. Nobody collects the same. Everyone is unique in the way they collect. So, Jamell's got that covered. And once I see it, I'm just, I couldn't do it. Talked about how like this prolific fig barfer or whatever I'm doing. It's just like, I could never do what you do. So
Hey, I appreciate that.
I just think it's dope.
Very flattered.
Yeah.
I'm the least fig barfing fool on this podcast right now.
I've
so
seen you do a little bit on your
I've
stories.
seen you do a little bit, Brett. And when you do, I'm like, hey, look at Brett. There he goes. All right.
Brett, you could.
Look at Brett. He's riding a bike all by himself. Good job.
Sometimes I think about your collection, Brett, and I go, "Oh my gosh!
yeah, dude.
If only I just had. If only I could just."
Oh, yeah. Like you probably, Brett,
I have some sort of mental block which prevents me from breaking up the way it was originally made. And part of it, I said earlier, and I think in an earlier episode, part of it is my fear that if something were to happen to me, my wife would be lost as far as how to reassemble this properly and be able to take care of him and offload him, effectively.
No, that's for sure. And you got your way of doing it. I think
my
that
midlife crisis moment, I guess.
I think everybody, the way they collect is perfect. It's perfect.
So
for
I'll
them.
give you a prime example. So I got the Cease Your Investigations torso from Slug Films in the mail yesterday.
nice.
Right? It's an Illuminati pyramid, eye in the middle of the pyramid.
Yeah, I'm looking at the card right now. This little card that comes with it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I got this torso. I was like, man, I want to say thanks for shout out on my Instagram story. How do I do that? I'm like, well, I'll just grab the pyramid Illuminati guy from Citizen Brick. I'll slap that head on there and let me find some legs real quick. So I grabbed the Air Mag Big Time Lego Spidey, bought off Josh Shenandoah. As soon as I did that story, I sent it. He liked it. Appreciate the share. I immediately put the pyramid head back on the Illuminati fig and put him back in the case. I immediately put the legs back on the Spidey. I put everything back in its little place, and it's really not healthy.
No, it is though. You gotta do it the way you do.
Exactly.
Nobody's gonna do it the way you do. So like,
The day I let go, so to speak, the day I Elsa this shit is the day that it's gonna go all. We're gonna go all out, and you're gonna start seeing some really funky
Heck
shit.
yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I can't. Right.
And I'm gonna start. You'll start seeing me starting weird stuff like, "Hey, I'm selling these Spideys. Who wants them?" You know,
I'll be there. I'll be like, "What parts you got?"
Exactly.
It's gonna be chaos.
You know, it's funny enough. That's how all this happened. Because when we lived in a really small apartment, we moved into when the pandemic happened, which is like right around the time I guess you started collecting too, Jamel, or 2019, 2020. And yeah, I had all these figs, and our apartment was really small, and basically I was just dancing to house music in my apartment. And one of my cases with it's just like
I remember.
I was feeling it. And that whole case just fell because I had two play and display cases. They don't really stack. Like they kind of sit on top of each other, but if your IKEA shelf shakes enough, it'll fall off. And that's what happened. And so like my PCB, Infinity War Thor, like all the stuff that I had held so close was just came toppling down. And I just kept dancing, to be honest. I picked it up and I was just like, I can't even think about
I just
that.
want to dance.
Right. I just want to dance. And I was in the zone. I think dancing is just like one of the most pure forms of artistic expression.
I agree
So
with you 100% on that.
It's one of the things that like our body isn't something where, we're born with, we're given. It's like only got one. So it's something so pure about it. So I kind of was like, damn, maybe that's what it was. The moment where I just kind of saw everything a little bit different. No figs were damaged, honestly, except for the Brothers Rescue. I think the backpack, that thing is so fragile. Those little back pieces snapped off.
Oh yeah, mine broke the second day I had it.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Same. Exact same. Second day. But I've glued it well enough that it looks flawless, but
talk about breakdancing.
Right?
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, true story. I did a head spin on it. That's what broke it. So.
Dang, it was dark red.
Exactly.
Too bad. But yeah, no, it's I think after that point I just started, it's like, man, what am I doing? Let me just kind of reevaluate things. So it helped get everything out of the case because I had little builds in there, all kinds of setups. So
I think it's a question we all ask ourselves at some point, and I was even thinking about doing an episode centered around it, but I thought it'd be too depressing. It's just you just sit here and you're just staring at them on a shelf. What are you doing with them? I mean, if I wasn't making and I haven't been doing as many lately because I've been a little overworked, but if I wasn't doing artistic posts with them, and challenging myself creatively that way, I don't know if I'd be continuing doing them. Because it's just like, all right, they look good on the shelf. Next.
So let me ask you this, Brett. So what is because I am the worst at taking the pictures. You all amaze me with, these photos you all do. So let me flip the script. What is your inspiration? How do you what, I'm going to do this photo shoot on this one?
It usually comes down to as I'm falling asleep in bed, as I'm waking up and looking for reasons not to get up, or there will be times as I'm leaving my office for the night, shut down the computer, and I just stop and I stare at the cases and thinking, what would be a cool idea? What would be a fun idea? I'll be honest with you, I don't even know what my next idea is. I have a Post-it note somewhere where I wrote like a dozen ideas. Some of them are new. Some of them are redoing old things that I've done before, but I know I can do better. We touched on this in talking with Marcus and Phoenix Customs during that episode on digital photography. I redid my Squirrel Girl Thanos fight post, and then I redid my Thor Ragnarok Gladiator Arena
one
post.
of my favorites.
And they turned out to be some of my favorites as well, for both a creative level and a technical level. I think my problem right now is I've been raising the bar for myself so much that I'm having trouble regressing back. I would love to just do a series of really nice portraits, but Marcus does these beautiful portraits. Soonsol does these beautiful portraits. Yep. And I kind of get deflated. I'm like, well, shit, they shot the figure. There, already looks good. What else can I do to make it anything different? But then I just did that Spider-Man Doc Ock post, and that was definitely my most technical piece yet. But honestly, the Halloween post I did, the Texas Chainsaw Man Massacre hybrid
Texas
post.
Chainsaw Man.
Well, I don't know if you remember,
that's the
but
bootleg.
it's
I'm not going to unhear that.
it's an asylum film, but it's the one that's got Leatherface holding the Chainsaw Man head for his chainsaw, and it's got Power from the manga sitting on the shelf. And I used a workbench and partial wall. I took apart one of those Eclipse of Graphics graffiti walls and turned the bricks around
Okay.
and used those to build some more wall so they could fill out the frame.
Yeah, those are nice profile bricks, honestly.
And then I took the centerpiece is from a Doctor Strange set, which was like had a workbench and a fireplace or whatever. So I really enjoyed that. I want to do more mocks, I think, is what I want to do. So you're asking about my inspiration is I basically look at everybody else's stuff and I try to remember that people are doing what they're also really good at so that I don't get too disenfranchised. When I see it, I'm like, shit, I don't know if I can do that.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Don't
I want to do things my way. I don't do what everyone else does. I mean, if you look at my stuff, I hardly ever do posts that are topical.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, everyone's talking about Multiverse of Madness. I'm going to do a Multiverse of Madness post. Nope, didn't do one. I think my next post is probably going to be, I want to redo my Fantastic Four post and have a really great idea on how to do it. Because that was like my top post of all time.
Okay.
You're working towards something.
There you go.
That's what it is.
Exactly.
Even if you don't know what it is, you might be you're working towards something, and it's gonna pay off. You're gonna realize, like, you got all these ideas. Just thinking about it is part of the process. You're just thinking about it.
Yeah, it really
Even if
is.
you don't get to it, that's part of it. Some people don't count that as like, oh, I didn't get to post this today or whatever. It's like, well, if you thought about it, it's just
take your
no
time.
matter when you do it. It's still, there's no rush. I don't know why why are you collecting spiders? You're like, I don't know why. I just gotta keep doing it. You'll realize one day why. And if it's just like that, you're gonna fig barf them all one day. Who knows? But like, maybe I don't know. Maybe it's retirement.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah. I don't know. Right, this is going. It'll be because they're ancient artifacts by the time I get done. But yeah, no, you're right. I'm working towards something, and there is no rush. When you don't care about the metrics, like the likes and the shares, and
absolutely,
all that stuff, it really is freeing. So my inspiration isn't current events; it's usually just the creative minds around me. So I look at the fig barfs that like Ben FSP does.
Yeah.
He does things at a daily pace. It's amazing how he can keep up.
I know.
I look at the creations. I look at the creations that Zach and Nick and Carrie put together. And
insane.
Rick Chick's been doing these little diorama thingies that look amazing.
Yeah. Denise is a great creator. Taking great, really clean photos too. I love seeing her work.
Well, she used to be a graphic designer.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. In a previous life. So it definitely shows because she knows what she's doing. And I'm looking forward to I'm going to do something. I don't know what it is, but I think my biggest challenge right now, I want to learn how to incorporate motion blur into a photo, artificially. And that's what I did with the Doc Ock one, with the arm slamming Spidey down into the ground. And that was all thanks to Azork and his use of motion blur for that cinematic look. So I directly give him credit for inspiring me to try that.
Awesome.
Yeah. But enough about me. This is about you, dude.
Sorry, I hijacked. I just had to ask.
No, it's a great question. It's just everything and everywhere is a inspiration. I like to do things that are fun, like puns and stuff, but still in a serious way.
I love them.
Like Texas Chainsaw Man Massacre. And Squirrel Girl squatting on top of Thanos and flipping him off.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah. They're always my worst performing posts too. That's the funny thing.
It's almost better. I love it. When I was doing like comedy shows, sometimes like the best comedy that was happening in town at the time was a show that nobody saw. It was like
small venues.
It's a small house, somebody just killed it that night and no one really saw it. Maybe the Second City, whoever's like big time at the time, they just did a show that night like they always do. Somebody killed it down the street. Nobody really saw it. So there's always something happening somewhere.
Ain't that the truth? So what about you, Jamell? What do you see your collection going in the future?
So I've told you all this in some of the chats, and it's not a going away, but I've always had this vision. I've been reading for almost 2.5 years now about that Avengers Tower. And for me, I always saw that as almost my swan song. Like my goal is I want to all my customs I have Marvel related because let's be real, at the end of the day, everyone becomes an Avenger at some point. I kind of want to have a lot of them set up in the tower, and I want to build almost like a major mock around that tower of all my stuff, like all the I call them the Jamell variants of when I've made superheroes out of Owl stuff. I kind of just want to make that little city, and then slowly but surely fade away from some of the more expensive figs and just really get back into mocking it up. So it's kind of
Great
man, it's
goal.
kind of my little let me fade. I'll never stop, but let me just fade back a little bit. So that's kind of my
I wonder how many mocks we'll see with that Avengers Tower at like Brick World
Oh man, it's gonna be crazy.
and Brick Fair.
Yeah, nothing's gonna top like that new Hashima build. That was
Oh, the
most
Cyberpunk thing.
yeah, the Cyberpunk. That was the most
Yeah, that
incredible
was sick.
mock I've ever seen in my
Well,
life.
the one at Brick Fair they said was about a quarter of it. So I hope they bring it back for Brick World.
Me too. I really do. It's a
But yeah, that's my
all-time
little
showpiece.
my own little Jamel Avengers type city thingamabob going.
I love that idea.
And then of course I'll have some B-boy Legos to the side, like Avengers B-boy battle, something like that.
You're gonna have to ask Crazy Bricks to make some big fig arms and legs or something, so you
yeah.
can like have Hulk doing something.
I actually have an idea for the Hulk, but I'll just wait until I do it.
Oh yeah, no spoilers. Well, with the end of 2023 coming up in a few weeks, do you have any particular figs you're still looking forward to?
Let's see. I'm gonna call out any creator who would love to tackle the Black Panther Ramonda. I always say her name wrong. So I would love to have that in my hand on Christmas. Shots fired. No.
Yeah.
No,
Brand listening, you know who you are.
exactly. I've hit you up. I've followed you before. Let's go. Really, I just waiting for all my pre-orders to get here. Honestly, I'm simple. I mean, if I had to say, let me go back to the question. If I had to say one particular fig I would love that I'm really looking forward to is Adam's original Berserker. That's the one I'm really looking forward to having that version of Wolverine in my hands.
So, for those who don't know, the original Berserker is a collaboration between Phoenix Customs and a Goodfellow Minifigs, and it is actually Wolverine's first costume from Hulk 180. That weird cowl that he had back then that was like skin tight, and the black fins weren't very large.
And of course, as I said earlier, I'm waiting. The other part of that is that custom hair piece.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to do something ridiculous with that. So,
well, okay. So then figs that you have on hand now, again, so in about 2 weeks, I'll be recording, or 2.5 weeks, I'll be recording an episode where we go over our favorite figs of 2023. I'll give you a chance now to chime in early and tell me which ones do you think shined above the rest. Shoned.
Oh man, you're gonna put me on.
Which ones you thought did good?
You're gonna put me on the spot like that. Ooh. 20. Okay, so for me, it's got to be. Let me go down the list here. Jaka's Killmonger. That's one of my faves. Jaka's Namor. It's about to be like a Jaka list. Jaka's Viking Thor from Love and Thunder.
Yeah, that one's really good. Yeah.
Man, I wish I was actually in my other room so I could see. That's
No Justice League figs?
Oh, well, okay. Yeah, thank you for reminding me. Of course, Lynn's Superman, Lynn's Batman, Lynn's Aquaman. Basically, let's just say Lynn's Justice League.
Basically, all of Abnormal's Justice League line.
all his lineup. I'm still kicking myself that I did not pick up the Flash. I've got Jaka's on the way, but I'm still mad at myself for accidentally deleting that order from Tracy. I totally forgot I did it. But
it'll come around.
Yeah, I think the game has changed so much now. I think we've talked about it before that the secondhand market is like we've kind of got our power back of picking and choosing when we want to get something.
Yes, I would agree. There's that brief window where you can't find it anywhere, and then eventually, it's not even taking a new brand coming out with a new version to start seeing those figs come out more often.
Yeah.
But I think that tier of figs that are hard to find in the secondhand market is getting smaller and smaller.
But yeah, that'd be my kind of small, humble lineup. I mean, technically, I could just say every fig in my collection is my top fig for 2023.
So before we wrap this up, did you have any questions for us besides inspiration for postings?
Not questions, but just a big thank you for being so welcoming when I first came in, and up until now, just you guys have been awesome. Everyone's been an inspiration for me, so welcoming, and like I said, I love this community. Again, I avoid the drama, so I don't know everything that's going on, but from what I'm seeing and how welcoming you all have been, this has just been awesome. And then even the bigger picture, the fact that you are actually doing, these podcasts, I'll say thank you on behalf of everyone. It's so happy to see you doing this.
Well, I say thank you because you were the one buzzing in my ear about making this happen.
I figured this way it'd stop me from bugging you all the time, which actually didn't help anyway. I still bug you, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. It's really cool. I think we all
My
play.
plate's full. My plate's full. Don't bug me about anything else. No more projects.
Don't plant any more seeds for Brett.
Yeah.
Too many to water.
I've got one thing in store I thought about for Brick World, but
for a mock.
For community.
Oh, sweet! All right.
So
okay.
Actually, I'll get your thoughts on that, Zach, when we sign off.
Okay, sure.
But yeah, well, Zach, did you have anything you want to add?
I did have a really exciting question for you, Jamell.
Are we talking about Church's Chicken again?
No, Zaxby's.
Oh, Zaxby's. Sorry,
I did have Cane's, and it was better.
No, it's all about Church's. It's all about that Church's Chicken.
Church's. That was like in Kentucky. That was a big one too. Also, gas station chicken. I forgot what it was called. I used to get a lot of chicken from a gas station. I forget the name of it, but
this is the most derailed episode ever.
I love it.
Okay, Jamell, Tony Stark or Bruce Wayne? Like, if
you're a horrible person for asking me that.
I'm so sorry. However you want to take it.
Like to be or preference?
Like, are you talking about Are you talking about in the battle or just?
Yeah. Okay. Let's see this. Like you're a kid and you're like, okay, I want to be a superhero, right? We all want to be superheroes. Do you want to be Tony Stark or do you want to be Bruce Wayne? Who's got the better toys? Well, let's just say as a person. Let's start with that first.
As a person,
I want the one with parents.
Ooh.
Oh no.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
you're a kid. You're Bruce Wayne. Your parents.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Ooh, okay. With the
you could be a billionaire, or your parents could be dead, and a billionaire.
Exactly.
Which one's more appealing to you?
You still got issues,
right? Talk about childhood trauma.
Oh no.
If I had to pick one, oh man, as much as I love Tony Stark, I'm gonna have to go Bruce Wayne, just because no matter what you say or you give him, and I'm being cliche, you give him enough prep time and you're toast. I mean, you're done. He has a contingency plan for everyone, everything. And if you really want to geek out, I mean, he does have his own armor type stuff. So I mean, yeah, sorry to my Marvel fans, I'm a pick Bruce Wayne. Just
nice.
So I
thought you might.
So you want the pearl necklace broken in the alleyway. Your dad bleeding out.
Well, technically.
No, I'm just joking, man. Look, I'm a Marvel head, and I would rather be Bruce Wayne because, every kid when they were younger wanted to be kidnapped by a ninja clan and trained in the arts.
Exactly.
So he went and actually did it.
Exactly. So, I mean, Tony Stark, he's got his issues too. He's an alcoholic. His parents were killed.
That's true.
So, I mean,
he's got a chunk of his chest missing.
Exactly. Dying every day until he builds a new arc reactor. So, I mean, I'm going to go Bruce Wayne.
Well, also, Bruce Wayne he lets Lucius run the joint, and he just does what he wants to do.
Exactly.
Tony's like all involved in the red tape and the business and the politics, and I don't want to deal with any of that shit.
Exactly. See, there you go. Bruce Wayne all the way.
Dang, you're right. Yeah.
I'd be like, Pepper, your CEO for Infinity and Beyond. I'm just gonna be down in my garage making cool shit to blow people up.
Pretty much.
Love it. Love the answer. That's what I'd pick as well.
Oh yeah, it's,
Love Batman.
And amazingly, as a Marvel guy, I would say Batman.
and I'm just gonna throw it out there. I don't care if people don't like me for
I'd
this.
say Spider-Man.
Oh well, yeah, and I'm just gonna say it now. Ben Affleck killed it. I don't care what anyone says.
Hey man, I'll take a step further. Affleck was a great Batman. Bale was a shitty Batman.
Thank you. I know this. Exactly. We're all there. Hear me. Like, I'm like, come on, dude. Like, your voice has got to hurt after 10 minutes.
I'm not wearing hockey pants.
Like, dude, your voice has got to hurt after 10 minutes of talking like that.
So yeah, I never liked Bale as Batman.
Yeah,
it's what I do that defines me. It's like,
yeah, dude. I can't do it. Like everyone loves that version. I'm like, no. You give me Val Kilmer even gets a lack of he doesn't get enough respect.
Val Kilmer.
He does not get enough respect. I'm sorry. I liked what he did.
No, Val Kilmer was a good Batman.
Marcus is going to kill me if I don't say this, but I got to say, Pattinson is now my fave.
No, I'm sorry.
You Robert Pattinson?
Yeah, I don't need Twilight as Batman.
I love
you
it.
cannot shit on the Batman movie. It was phenomenal.
The movie was great, but all I saw was Edward. That's all I saw.
Well, you know
So
what?
funny.
If you never watched Twilight in the first place, like myself,
Here we go.
you wouldn't see that.
Here we go.
Because I saw that shitty werewolf CGI transformation crap in a trailer, and I was like, "There's no way I'm watching this garbage."
See, my only problem with Twilight was how come the brother vampire didn't twinkle? Why was he always ashy? Like, how come he couldn't get his diamond and glisten on? I mean, I don't pull the race card, but I felt a little certain way. Like, hey, how come he's not sparkling?
Oh, I'm thinking back to Coming to America with the Soul Glow.
Exactly. How come whatever his name was? How come he
Yes.
didn't get his Soul Glow? Feature.
Gosh.
Oh my gosh.
One of the best movies. You messaged me the other day. You were like, we need a custom of Akeem.
Oh, dude, you best believe I hit up 2 people after that.
That is a phenomenal idea.
Yeah, it is.
I'm bold. You all know me. I literally messaged at DMCB said, hey, just throwing this out there. Here's a picture. Why don't you tackle that one day?
No. A tool pack of Eddie Murphy as Akeem and as his barbershop persona.
Oh, or
that would be insane.
Let's do a 3-pack. Let's do Hakeem, his barbershop persona, and Samuel L. Jackson when he was robbing McDowell's.
That'd be good. Because you could just use the parts for other stuff too.
Actually,
Yeah, why doesn't he get some sort of disenfranchised McDonald's worker like Fig yet?
yeah, that's a good question.
But like the 80s McDonald's outfit like
yeah.
that. Like what you saw like in Loki season 2.
Yes.
That one that we all grew up with the shitty burgundy colors and stuff.
Yes, with the styrofoam to-go box.
I did send a picture of Ben Stiller from Dodgeball to Joe saying, I can't believe I forgot to suggest this to you for Citizen Pick.
Oh, dude.
And all he replied was good idea.
That would be
So,
an awesome idea.
Maybe one day. I love that movie so much.
That was like...
Nobody makes me bleed my own blood.
Do you remember Ben Stiller in Heavyweights? Do you remember his character in that movie?
As like the fake Rambo?
That was like... Yeah. Tony Perkis.
Yes. Oh, man.
That was one of my favorite Ben Stiller roles, man.
If folks want to just sign off and then go to the next episode of their favorite podcast now, we're probably going to ramble like this for the next 2 hours.
Oh, I love it.
We need a Randy Watson, man.
Oh, dude.
Oh, man.
See, I just need to like break into CB for one day, and I'll just like program a whole bunch of stuff and just let the printers go.
It's not a magic machine from Star Trek, dude. You got to.
That's how I look at it.
He's like, boop, beep, boop,
Exactly.
boop, boop.
Yeah, you're gonna brainwash our minds.
Yeah, pretty much. Hey, I do cybersecurity, so I'm gonna do something.
Oh man.
Well, all right. Well, I think we're at a good stopping point. Jamell, thank you again so much for coming on. I know we've been playing this for a while. You were supposed to be like our 3rd episode or 4th episode, and scheduling is easily the hardest part of any podcast. So I'm glad we finally were able to get this knocked out.
Thank you again, and like I said, I mean, this is the timing it was meant to happen. So I definitely humbled. I can't believe I'm on here. Probably be afraid to listen to it because my own voice sounds annoying. So, but no, it's been a blast. Thank you again. I can't say thank you enough to you and Zach for all the support and motivation, and yeah, just keep rocking out.
Yeah, and open door. If you ever want to come back or you have something interesting you think we should talk about, please let me know. And you'll always be more than welcome.
Oh, no, absolutely. I'm definitely going to take that Crazy Bricks idea and maybe hit them up.
All right, cool. Yes, go ahead. Steal the idea.
Yeah,
Go
there
for
we
it.
go.
I don't care. Helps everybody. And Zach, again, thanks for coming on, man. I really appreciate your insights on stuff. I know it was tough, with the baby to make time to come on.
Oh, I know. I heard her crying a couple times. I feel so bad. I'm going to check on her, but she's okay. No, I had a great time. Y'all are
Wait,
my great
real
friends,
quick, let's clear this up. The baby's being taken
Yes.
care of right now. It's not by itself crying and Zach ignoring it.
No, good lord.
Yeah,
No, my
don't need-
wife is.
Yeah, I heard the baby crying, but I'll just throw some raw fish heads in the closet. They'll be fine.
Jesus Christ.
Don't need people
I
calling
can snack on that.
child care services after the podcast goes off.
My God, I'm a good dad.
I built a chest out of Lego, and I just put her in it. She'll be fine.
Still, this is breaking my heart.
Hilarious.
This is a good episode because my face hurts from laughing so
I
hard.
love it.
Yeah,
So,
all the
all right,
best.
well, hey,
This was fun.
all right. So, again, with that being said, I want to thank anybody who's listened this far through our ramblings. Thanks for sticking around and for your continued support. If you wish to support in other means, there is going to be a link to Buy Me a Coffee in the show notes, and we'll also link to Jamell of Jamell's Bricks in the show notes as well.
Hey.
If you want to check out his profile, please do. Zach as well, of course, will always be available. Again, your support is never obligated, but always appreciated. And until then, see you next time. Say bye.
Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.
What's this chow? We don't say chow.
Hey, sorry, 5.
We got 18, 19 episodes. We say bye.
Bye.
Ciao.
I gotta be
Ciao.
different.
You're a True Ed fan.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.
You're
I'll be the
fancy.
same.
Arrivederci, baby.
I'll be the same. Bonne nuit.
Now you're just showing off.
I want you on my rack. I want to make you ring. I want you to unwrap. I want to pull your string. Bring me the next